Welcome to the Inspiration Station hosted by Joshua Lenox, the place to fill up your tank if you're in need of encouragement and motivation.
Hey, it's Joshua Lenox, the Inspiration Station. Y'all already know we upsize in 2025 all day, every day. Happy Friday to each and every one of you. Y'all, it is the 5th of September. It is the 5th of September. Oh, wait, it's the 3rd. We don't talk about the 5th with the Temptations. But anyway, hope that you all have been having a great day, an amazing day to all of you amazing and great people out there. I really want to jump into some stuff today. Going to be really quick, and I kind of want to do something a little different. So I'm not going to be with you too long, but I kind of want to do something in a conversational style. But before we go any further, I just want to say thank you to all of you who have continued to support the Inspiration Station. Who would have thought? This is not something that I really can say that I planned or something that I just knew was going to happen or something that also that I wanted to do or I was excited to do. Not really, but let there be a revelation to you. Sometimes there are things in you that have already been ordained or laid out for you to even try, even if it's something that you don't stick with, but at the same time, things for you to try that you're going to do really well at. And again, like the word says, despise not small beginnings. But what I like to say is that you don't ever start small even if it seems that way. So you never know what things are inside of you that have been stirring up and maybe you're sitting on that people need to hear or need to see or need to experience or whatever that is. And something that you might not foresee, but it's something that's definitely lined up for your life. So thank you to everybody out there on YouTube Live, Facebook Live, Instagram Live, LinkedIn Live, and then also the listeners out there on Spotify, Apple, Audible, and Amazon. So I want to say hi to every one of you, and I hope that you all are doing very well. Said hi, hello to everyone. Again, thank you all for sharing and doing those things. And y'all, I know last episode y'all had to hear me have a little slow moment, but I just really didn't know when I'm seeing these live numbers, especially on YouTube. It's almost up to it's like 2.4 thousand people watching the Inspiration Station live. And I'm thinking like when the live is over, I'm like, why is this down here like saying 5 views? The devil is a liar. I saw it was 2.4, not knowing the live stream is different than the live stream is different than actual viewers after that. So I had to learn. The producer had to put me up on game. Thank you so much for that, Jason. But anyway, I also want to say this is your first time. The Inspiration Station is literally a nickname I was given, but at the same time, it was something I was told that I am a person who sends out signals in a sense that people need to hear. And it's like I know that they need to hear, which actually I don't always know what people need to hear. That is definitely just coming from the Lord and Him using me as just a willing vessel. But the Inspiration Station is not just about Joshua Lennox. It's not just centered on me at all. It's all of us. The Inspiration Station is you. Each and every one of you inspire many people. Anybody who's ever crossed your path, you have inspired. And also, you are a great inspiration to yourself. You look in the book of your life and you can read several chapters that will empower you and push you to go past any challenge or obstacle that you're currently facing because you always win. And as I always say, the only L's that we take are lessons. We never lose, okay? What do we do on the Inspiration Station? We're open, we're honest, we're vulnerable, not just with each other, but with ourselves, because oftentimes the relationship that we have with ourselves are often neglected. And we can put ourselves last if we're not prioritizing things properly or in a healthy manner. So we want to be open, honest, and vulnerable with ourselves. And that's with our good, our bad, our ugly, because all of it works for our good. Also, there'll be people that are coming on, and I'm getting there's some people lined up, y'all. It's just people are really booked and handling their business, and I love it. People are traveling. People are still kind of coming into this time of where we're going into the fall season, so the summer is, over. I know some of y'all are very bitter and upset about that. It's going to be okay. You're going to get another summer next year, okay? But there'll be several people coming on here to shine their light and give us some wisdom and some nuggets of their lives. And anybody you could think about from a distance that you've been heavily influenced by, people who you listen to on the radio, people who you grew up watching on television, some people you watch playing sports, whatever that is, or also just all of us are superstars, is what my thing is. Everybody's a superstar, no matter who you are, no matter what status you are, no matter about the wealth you have, the platforms, the opportunities, the skill sets, anything. Everybody is a superstar. Everybody is a star. Some of y'all might know that song. Some of y'all might not. If you don't know that song, you need to go get help. But anyway, but we'll be definitely doing some things coming up that I'm really excited about, especially since I relocated. There's some people I really want to interview, but they're not going to be on here. It'll be in person with them and have some fun with some of them. Some of them are nervous, but they'll be all right because they just never know what I'm going to ask. But want to jump in today really quickly. It's going to be a conversation style. I don't want to do this. I want to do something different. Just because, again, also when you're doing things, think about other ways you can convey messages, other ways you're able to execute your messages or what you're wanting your audience to grab a hold to. And what I want to say is today is just uh, how often are you tuning into your imagination? How often are you tuning into your imagination? You know, Temptation said, well, it was just my imagination. Come on, sing it with me, y'all. Running away with me. Oh, it was just my imagination running away with me. Y'all didn't know I wrote that song, right? I wrote that and they took it and, they really were like hating on me, so they didn't give me the rights or the royalties to things. And I'm still in court trying to fight that. You know, Barry Gordy, I love you, but I need my money. But anyway, on another, I think I'm in my imagination right now, right, y'all? But I want to ask you, as the song says, it was just my imagination running away with me. Where is your imagination taking you? And also, if we want to look on the other side of this, it's like, where is your faith taking you to? Because if we want to think about imagination, think back to being a kid. Everybody, close your eyes really quick. This is a Mr. Rogers moment. So close your eyes while I'm talking to you. But think back to when you were a kid and you didn't have any fear of who you wanted to become. Somebody, the common question was always, what do you want to be when you grow up? You could tell someone, I want to be a doctor. Yeah, and I want to operate on people and I want to see about people and well, I want to be a veterinarian because I like pets and I like dogs and cats and rats and everything else. Oh, I'm going to be an entertainer. I want to be like Michael Jackson. I want to travel the world. I want to sing. I want to dance. I want to perform. I want to be um, a poet. I want to be an author. I want to be a homemaker. Whatever it was. Oh, y'all, my computer is trying to do something. But you know what? I'm gonna have to grab this cord real quick because it's acting like it's about to die on us. So hold on one second. All right, I'm back. The screen started getting a little dark, y'all. I was like, wait a minute, what in the world? But anyway, thinking back to that childlike imagination of seeing yourself do major things. And I think like I've shared with you all, I'll share really quick. I remember as a child, I would literally in Pensacola, Florida, I would go in my great grandfather's backyard and I would get a shovel and I would put it in place and I would have the music out there blasting. I would act like I was dancing and performing in front of thousands and thousands or seas of people. And you couldn't tell me that I didn't see it. It's like in my mind, I could see all of these people, even though somebody else could come outside and say, who is he? He performing to the trees or something? I would see seas of people and you couldn't tell me that they weren't there. And I would move and sing like I was doing there, like I had a whole band behind me, like I had other dancers on the stage with me. And you couldn't tell me that that wasn't happening. I would talk to in between the songs, I would pause the record. And yeah, I said record, y'all, or the tapes. I would pause them and I would take a moment and talk to the audience for a minute and ask everybody how they're doing tonight and this, that, and the other. And I mean, my grandmother would sit out and she would tell y'all if she was sitting around there, she would sit out and be my audience sometimes. And I think she would really sit there. She believed in me. So it's like she would be looking at me like, this young man, this child really is out here acting like he's in a stadium somewhere. And I would. And you couldn't tell me any different. Then I would do skits. I would take some of my favorite movies and I would just act things out and I would play multiple characters and things of that nature. And it was like, again, you think about it as we talk about having like an imaginary friend or something like that. And it's like you're talking to somebody who's not there. And yeah, you might, go check in on somebody or have somebody check in on them or send them to some facility if that's still happening as an adult, maybe. But you have an imaginary friend and you couldn't tell that child or that young, maybe even a teenager, that that person was not there. same concept. When we think about things we wanting to see by faith, we speak those things that are not as though they were. So, like, where is your imagination been taking y'all lately? Where are you, is it taking you to the left or the right? Is it taking you to the positive or is it taking you to the negative? Maybe you had such dreams and visions to do things and you wrote them down or used to act them out. I know sometimes I would tell some of my clients, I'm like, if you're single and you're talking about you want to be married, okay, well, go ahead and start acting like what does that look like even in your private space? Maybe you start leaving some space on the side of the bed. Maybe you start cooking a little extra or starting to learn how to cook if you don't know how to cook. And let me say, don't sit up here and talk about I don't know how to cook. It's too many cookbooks out there, too many resources for you not to know how to cook. Now, if you don't want to cook, that's one thing. But if you say I can't cook, the devil is a thousand lies. Okay, okay. Anyway, okay, that's I'm back. I think some people can understand why that can be a little irritating to me because I love to cook. But on the flip side of this, y'all, what are some things that you have put on hold because you've forgotten to tap into that childlike side of you, the childlike side of you that wasn't thinking about spectators or people's comments about you or thinking about failing or anything? Because there was no way you could tell me as a kid. I wasn't thinking about nothing. I wasn't thinking about all the rehearsals and things like that. Because again, when I got older, I've had to do several rehearsals, and I'm not done yet. But I had to do several rehearsals to do things, whether I was dancing, singing, or acting. And listen, what I'm saying: dancing, singing, and acting. Those things as a child, I knew at 4 and 5 years old in the backyard, I knew those were, it was like things in me I could not run away from. So, like, what are those things in you that you've forgotten about that you just couldn't run away from? And it's still probably showing up, and you maybe are doing the Heisman on it. You just pushing it away. And it's like, get back to that kid in you, get back to that quiet space and thinking about seeing yourself in a certain way. Again, imagination. The root word in that is image. What kind of images or pictures are you putting in your mind? Putting in your mind about your present or even your future. Are you if you're talking about wanting to be a person who has you want to be a homeowner. You remember how as a kid sometimes you go, but that's my house, that's my house, that's my house. It was an imagination. You ain't even paid one bill yet. You still a child, ain't paid one bill, but you're talking about what's going to be your house. It hasn't come yet, but at the same time, I'm focused on that. So again, could it be that your imagination has been shifted, or again, your faith has been shifted because you've lost sight of what you used to focus on? Have you let life get in the way? Is life living you now? Have you let stressors overwhelm you? Have you started speaking negatively about everything? Have you thought about it being too late? I believe it was the woman who played she was an elder in the movie Wakanda, and I can't remember her name, but I know she's an elderly woman in her 80s or something. Her 80s, her acting career did not start until then, but she always wanted to be an actress. Some part of me wonders. Was there anything that was hindering her up until that point to get there? Or maybe that was just the timing. Maybe it was such a time as that, is that she needed to be at that age to play that character. We'll never know. But at the same time, what we do know is she's now an actress. So whatever that dream she had in her, it did come to pass. But my thing that sometimes I think you end up comparing yourself, as I talked about last week, comparing yourself to other people, trying to run the same race, looking at other people's lanes, and it's like you are who you are, but you can't compare yourself to other people, especially if anything, let other people inspire you. As we talk about the inspiration station, let other people inspire you. When you see people living their dreams or they're doing things they've always wanted to do, and keep in mind, you have no idea the type of sacrifices and the things that they have had to endure to get there. But how does that push you? I don't know about y'all, but when I see people doing well, I always people would laugh and they be like, Josh, you just cheer for everybody with anything. You could have had a breadcrumb contest at your school or something, and you won. I was gonna be yelling and the loudest person out there. That's just how I've always been. I believe it's so important. What are you hating on somebody for? My mom used to have to talk to me all the time, Josh. Everybody's not gonna be happy for other people, and they're not gonna be happy for you. And I'm like, why? That doesn't make sense. Like, we should all be loving each other. We should all be supporting each other. We should all be cheering for each other. It didn't make sense to me. It does not make sense to me now. I just understand that that's just how things are. You're not gonna have, and at the same time, dogs do not park at park. Dogs don't bark at parked cars. So it's like you're doing something, and the people just have nothing positive to say. Probably a negative reflection on themselves, but what are those things that you know you're still gravitated to, you still have a joy in it. And maybe you were doing some of those, you're doing some of those things, but what are some things you put on the back burner that you forgot to have that childlike faith in of knowing that you're capable to do it? I always say that if God gave you the dream or the vision, mixed with the talents and abilities and gifts, He knows that you have the capacity to fulfill it no matter what it looks like, no matter how hard. And sometimes I think what as a stumbling block is people think about how hard it's going to be. And it's like, well, you might want to reframe that. Maybe again, is you thinking about working towards something that you've always wanted? If it doesn't have some level of resistance or challenge, I don't know if it's worth you going after. If it doesn't have any type of resistance or that's good. Any resistance or challenge, and the thing that you really want and you want to go after, I don't know if it's worth it because you won't ever appreciate it if it's just handed to you, if it just comes so easily. But you got to go back and I want each and every one of you to just do some soul searching, looking within yourself. Sit down, have some quiet time. Some of y'all have just gotten away with the busyness of life, and you could be busy doing nothing, busy going in a circle. You could be like a hamster, just staying in the same place and just spinning around. But you can't be upset because certain passions of yours you feel like they're just dead or they're over. They're only over if you say that they're over. Go back to even using my story as a kid. And again, I'm 40 years old, but at the same time, I still have so much to do. And there have been a lot of things. I remember letting someone know since I moved back to Atlanta, someone very special to me. I let them know that I went back to God led me back to the house that I stayed in, my mother and I, when I was 9 and 10, 9, 10, and 11, from 94 to 96, y'all. And I was just, going back through the neighborhood, and it made me really start to think about when I was a kid, do talent shows here in Atlanta, and how I was not afraid, and I'm still not afraid. I can be nervous at times, but that doesn't stop me. And I mean, once I get on the stage or hear that music or hear the band or I get that mic in my hand or whether I'm just acting or whatever it is, I come alive. And it's nothing. And even if I'm nervous, it's almost like it turns into an excitement, if anything. And I remembered that and going through that neighborhood, I was like, I remember those days looking in the window where I used to stay and I was like, practicing in my room. And I was fearless. And again, being fearless to do certain things doesn't mean that you won't have some nerves about it. Some things you are not unsure about or uncertainty sometimes, but you do it anyhow. But I also remembered one of the things that I believe was a blow to me is when I lived here from 2012 to 2015. A lot of my things that I had several tapes of me dancing in college. It was several. I mean, several. I mean, I did it for 4 years, so it was a lot. Also, me singing over the years, even when I was younger, I had tapes of me on when I was doing the news in Tallahassee, Florida, and I was the person they were only supposed to you're supposed to alternate each week, and I literally was able to do it all week. They kept me on all week, and I mean, the kids hated me. They wanted to fight me. They really did. I was like, I didn't have nothing to do with that. And also, news articles of me being interviewed, some work that I did even in middle school, poems and things that I did and won, and contests I did. It was just every certificate I ever got, every award I ever got, and again recognition, from around the world and things like that. When I was dancing in college and being interviewed and things, all of that was stolen. So I never had, and it kind of hit just when I said that, but a lot of that was stolen. At someone's house that I had my stuff in storage, their house was broken into, and I was like, why did they take this stuff? They didn't think to open it because they'd open it, they would have thrown it back down. They took it probably because of the bags they were in, and they did not find the people. So I was angry, furious, in pain, hurt because I'm like, all of that hard work that I did, those are things that are part of my dreams that I had as a kid that I was doing and living. And I felt like I had nothing to show for it. Now, there are clips of me out there on the internet and things like that, but nothing compared to all of the material that I had. That was also another pusher for me. That was something for me to keep going. And I didn't realize how much of a blow that was. But what I really do know about is that God will restore the years. And God told me, He said, I'm going to make up for this. And He said, and you're going to do greater than even what you've done. I'm thinking like people would ask me questions and I tell them about my life and stuff. And they'd be like, well, where is this and where's that? And I'm like, I can't, I felt like I didn't have anything to show for it. How am I tying that to what I'm talking about today with our imagination? All of those things that I accomplished were things that I wanted to do. They were in my mind. I had faith to do it. I had it was in my imagination. I just always saw myself performing. Every school I went to, I was performing. Whether I was singing in a choir or something, it was I was never just not doing. I was always doing. You had church and stuff like that, doing stuff in the community or whatever that was. But I was always doing that because I knew as a kid that was something that I knew I would go after. Now, did I know about counseling and being an author and coaching and all that stuff? Not really, but at the same time, when I look back, I was exposed to things that would tell me that those things would come to pass at some point as well. So, my homework to you all is to really go sit still for a moment when you get a chance. And again, where is your imagination taking you to? And also just reframing that or refocusing that and looking at where is your faith taking you to? Is your faith causing you or your imagination causing you to think negatively about fulfilling certain dreams and visions and things of that nature, utilizing your gifts, talents, and abilities at their full capacity? Or is it taking you back into that childlike place of saying, I'm not really about to focus about what obstacles and challenges might be ahead. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this if I can see you. I think I remember Karen Clark Sheard saying on one of her songs, It's Not Over. She said, You got to see it before you see it, or you never will see it. Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. And without faith, it's impossible to please God. So we all want to please Him, right? So why don't we get back to that childlike faith? And go back to that kid in you that wasn't worried about what people would have to say, wasn't worried about how much money you're going to need, wasn't worried about if you're going to have the resources or if people are going to like you or anything of that nature. You just did it or you had a gravitation to it because that's just what was inside of you. And again, if God put that vision, dream inside of you, He knows you have the capacity to fulfill it, even if you doubt it. He knows that you can carry it. And the thing is, I don't want you to have all of these things and stuff written down and you're not moving on it. And then it's almost like you see somebody else doing it at some point. You're like, I had that idea and dream. Well, you didn't move on it. You're gonna have to watch this play out. So we don't want anything wasted, right? Nothing is wasted in our lives. So we don't want to waste anything that God has implanted in us to execute on earth while we're still here, right? Because so many people are going to be counting on you to continue to show up. And again, I'm speaking to myself as well. Certain things that I still I want to, I'm going to do that I've got to get a move on some things. We do understand God's timing and things of that nature. At the same time, you can always be doing something, going working towards it. And if He needs you to sit still for a minute, He'll let you know. However, there's always something to work on when we're pursuing pursuing calling, pursuing purpose, and pursuing, just our lives, our everyday lives. So I just encourage each of you, tap into that childlike faith again. Get into that imagination. Listen to I was going to say the Clark sisters. Well, yeah, them too. That you're looking for a miracle and you expect the impossible. But again, we know that what might seem impossible to you or other people, that God will make it possible. So it's never too late. You're not limited in anything. God will give you everything that you need because He's already put it inside of you. It's just for you to work it. Okay. So I love y'all. Please have an amazing rest of this Friday. Y'all, like I said again, tap into that childlike faith. Again, it's not you're not being childish by going back to those places of actually dreaming and actually believing it and actually seeing it, picturing it, having actual natural dreams about it, seeing it, writing it down, having those vision boards and stuff. It's time for the vision board to come off the paper, come off the poster and become reality. So please share this with any and everybody. Continue to subscribe, continue to like. I really thank God for each and every one of you all for continuing to rock it out here. We're just going up, 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 higher and higher, onward and upward, further and further, each and every day. And that's how your life is going to be. And welcome to September, y'all, the ninth month. So, what are y'all birthing while we sitting up here talking about imagination? What are you birthing? What are you busy birthing? And remember, too, when you give birth to anything, it doesn't fully belong to you. And also, you have people, midwives and nurses and things that'll be around to assist you, uh, and a village around you to help you cultivate this whatever you're birthing. So Have an amazing rest of this Friday. Be safe, please, you guys, on this evening or a morning, afternoon, wherever you're watching from. But love y'all. Spread love now more than ever because we definitely need the unity more than ever. Talk to y'all later. See you next Friday at what time? 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I got to get used to saying that. And 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. So I will see y'all then. Have a good one. Bye.
Thanks for watching The Inspiration Station with Joshua Lenox. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.